Hello there, and how's it going, guys and girls and whatever else? Who am I does not matter, so now we're gonna get to the topic. Now, we have come to an understanding that in order for you to achieve something valuable in the world, you have to do something out of the ordinary. You have to be extraordinary. Therefore, we think of the genius. Excuse me. We think of the genius, the person, the Einstein of the universe, the Leonardo da Vinci of the universe. And then that's it. And we think that we can achieve this. Some people can achieve it, the anomalies. But what if I told you that there is another way? Yes, there is another way. The other way would be to become a scenius. Not genius, but scenius. So, in order for us to understand the differences between the genius and the scenius, we're going to talk about something that we are more familiar with in terms of the word itself, and that is the genius. Now, it took me about 10 minutes to fucking ask ChatGPT because of whatever, and then the answer that I got is a genius typically refers to an individual who demonstrates exceptional or intellectual creative abilities. It often implies an innate talent or extraordinary capacity for innovation and insight in a particular field. Now, there are other things that are written, but we're going to stick to that. So, from what we understand from the word genius, is that the genius is something like this. You have the genius, and the genius is like the sun who just gives you those explosions of information. He makes a huge difference on his own or her own. So we're gonna say his because I am not a feminist. So that's the genius. He gets to create things out of nowhere, pretty much. When people give Nobel Prizes to, they don't give it to anybody else but a genius, a person who created something or discovered something on his own with the minimum input from other people around him. Now, that's the genius. Now, let's go for the other word, which is not very familiar by the people, and that is a scenius. The scenius, on the other hand, according to what ChatGPT says, and according to the book that I read, I forgot what it's called, but no one cares. On the other hand, scenius, a term coined by a musician, who cares, describes the collective intelligence and creativity that emerges when a group of talented individuals come together to collaborate, share ideas, and inspire each other. Unlike the notion of the solitary genius, the person who does everything on his own, the scenius emphasizes the role of community, environment, and collective support in fostering creativity and innovation. Now, in order for me to make it simpler for you and simpler for me, the scenius is basically the layman, the person who's willing to put in the effort, study the thing, and have negotiations and talk to other people in order to come up with something that's beneficial to the world. So the scenius is like me talking to another person who considers himself as a genius. So let's say, take the SC, just random people who are geniuses, random people around you that share the same passion and are willing to put in the effort into the creation of the goal, whatever that goal is, whether it's music. Music is a very popular genius thing. Solving electricity problems to the world, unleashing a company of multiple businesses. These are considered geniuses. So for me, as a genius, I'm not a genius, and I don't think I will ever be a genius because otherwise I wouldn't be living in this shithole. The genius hangs out with other people that give him the energy and the knowledge needed in order for him to something useful. See that again? One more time. He gets to unleash something that's useful because he gets to hang out with people of his level. Now, are we going to say that Einstein didn't hang out with other people of his level? Of course he did. But when we think about the things that he discovered, whatever they are, I'm not a mathematician or whatever, we don't say Einstein and his buddies, Einstein and his friends. No, we're just going to think about Einstein. So that is the main differences between the geniuses of the world and the sceniuses. Now that we have made this beauty of a drawing, we're going to talk about the positives, the pros and cons of each one of them. And this is me going to improvise out of my well of doom, if you know what I mean. So, the benefits or the pros of being a scenius, from the top of my head, is that you have community. Community. You have community. You get to hang out with people of your level. You get to find someone for you in order for you to achieve a higher greatness. But it leads to a con, and that con is unfortunately would be, if I want to be honest with you guys, it's gonna be, I don't know what the word would be, but it would be sporadic. Sporadic. I don't know how to write that down. You can take my English degree, I don't give a fuck. Okay? Sporadic. What do I mean by sporadic? As in, it's gonna be a huge mess. Because not all people go achieve something for the same reason. So you get to hang out with people who are taking it seriously. Some people don't take it seriously. So it's on you for you to achieve that great of a deal. So it gives you community, but it gives you sporadicism. In my humble opinion, of course. Now let's go for the genius. The genius. The pros of the genius. One of them that can come out of my well of doom would be that he is singular. So singular. Why singular? Because whatever that he discovers or invents, it's gonna be given to him. The props, the cheers are going to be given to him only. So whatever you say, people will listen to you. Listen to the Apple maker. I don't know who made it. I forgot who made it. Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Tesla, whatever. So you're going to be singular. No one's going to say, oh, Elon Musk and his buddies. No one's going to say that. He may or may not had buddies, but we think about Elon Musk when you think of Tesla. The cons that can come with it is that you are more likely to be lonely. There's this fact that I have come up with as I was watching some documentaries and videos, as well as just me thinking about the world in general. When you are a genius, you get to realize that a lot of them do not end up in relationships. So that's another con. Why? Because once you are in a relationship with the opposite sex, you just lose your mind and you become weak because you have other things to chase after. Benefiting the world does not benefit you anymore because all you want to have is to follow your instincts and spend your lifetime with your loved ones and have children. The scenius does not need to suffer that much. Of course, they're going to still suffer with the marriage stuff, but because they are in a community, they get to meet people that are like-minded. But again, that's just me. If you think about it this way, it will all make sense eventually. If not, then lucky you. You're either ignorant or you just want to win the conversation. So you win. W. Bye. Now we're going to talk about on how to become a scenius. Because you may say, man, about how do I know if I'm a scenius or a genius? If you're watching me, then sorry, I'm gonna burst the bubble, but you're probably not a genius, okay? You have other things to worry about in the world. You're already making something for yourself. And I'm very proud of you if you happen to stumble on my video otherwise. So, not to burst your bubble, but you have to be realistic. You're more likely to be a scenius, okay? Einstein did not hang out with the ordinary people, as far as I know. Neither Elon Musk, and neither Tom Bradley, or Dr. Disrespect, the minor abuser. Unfortunately. So, actions of sceniuses. The first thing is to do would be join a community. Join a community. Join a community. Shit, I kind of fucked it. Join a community that shares the same interests. But you may ask, how do I join? Now we are in 2024 or 2025. Whenever you wanna watch this. Yes, You can do it whether on Discord, attend an event. I think in America and in Europe generally they have a lot of events. And sadly it's not really the same yet as far as I know, but maybe I am just ignorant. So join a community, whether it's electronic, but I would still consider that you get to join a seminar rather than a webinar. But that's just me. You get to find people that are like-minded. And if you're 26 or 23, 24 and above, and you still haven't found like-minded people, then you kind of have a problem, and that's the same applies to me. I have a problem. So join a community in order to achieve some greatness in your life. Secondly, for you to become a scenius, a successful scenius, is that you share the process. Process with an exclamation mark, whatever, Western Union. Anyways, share the process, not products. Now, why would I say this? Great question. When you do, oh wow, kind of fucked it again. Share the process, not the product. Now, when I say such a thing, of course, you should share the product, but when you share the product without giving people and sharing people useful information in clusters, day by day, week by week, whatever kind of frequency you want to go for, no one really is going to give a shit about your product. Unless you are a genius. Kind of. Sort of. And you have a lot of cash and a lot of mulala. So, share the process, not the product. How do you share the process? Great question, if you asked. Open a YouTube channel and share information, show the people on how does a person of your lifestyle live to some extent without sharing them personal information if it's not something that you're comfortable with, okay? Share the process, not the product. Share the product only after you share the process in order for you to get an audience that can validate the product for you. How did I achieve this? No clue. Now we're going to give you scenius examples. Let's find examples that can be given to you in order for you to understand the difference between the genius and the scenius. An example of a scenius, which can be, and honestly, geniuses can be sceniuses first, but there's always this gray area, but trust me, there is a difference. The first example of a scenius are community makers. So community makers. Why community makers? Because they get to make communities, and that makes them sceniuses because they get to share part of their journeys. YouTubers are usually sceniuses. Because YouTubers, actually that's a great example here. So the scenius, which is the YouTuber, he gets to share his life, share information for free. That makes him a scenius, right? For example, for me, it's Alex Hermosi, Ali Abdel, uh, whatever. These are kind of what I would call sceniuses in that regard because they are community makers or builders, whatever, chemistry, and they are YouTubers. So these are great examples of sceniuses. So we have established difference and the similarities between the geniuses and the sceniuses of the world. In order to find out whether you're a genius or a genius, then you're a scenius. 99% of the time, I'm willing to put my balls on the line for it. Okay? Unfortunate, my balls are thick and they have a lot of testosterone, so I don't want to lose them. So that's a great bet that I'm willing to take a risk of. And we have found out on how to become and the pros and cons of each one of them, apart from the genius, because the genius is not something that we're going to achieve anyways 99% of the time, because otherwise the genius will not have as much as status and resemblance, no, not resemblance, stature as anybody else in the world. And we have given you examples on how to become a scenius, which is to be giving the process instead of the product. Examples of them are like YouTubers and community builders, and there are probably other examples that I could have came up with out of my will of doom, but that's what I got for you for today. If you enjoyed this information, please subscribe and like, and I will see you guys in another video with better information. If you're watching this, thank you. Take care.